En Route to the Good Life. Not second edition, second version. So it's a whole lot of other questions that I asked people, and they gave me answers to, and I felt that I needed to get those answers out to many people as possible to help people to make changes in their life. So your small goal, right? Your small goal has no connection to anything else. So when you set your goal or you have a vision in life, it cannot be based off the fears and limitations that you set for yourself. So our fears and limitations, right? What is the reason why you set a goal to have a good job as opposed to set a goal to run the entire company? What is the fear or limitations you have on yourself if you set a goal, right, to run the New York Marathon as opposed to your goal to win the New York Marathon? What are your fears and limitations, right? They're you, yourself, an individual, okay? And so you base your goals off of these fears of what you feel that you personally can achieve. And I'm here to tell you, and my mentor taught me this a long time ago, you cannot base your goals on your current knowledge. You can't. You can't do it. You can't base the goals that you want to achieve in life on what you know right now. And the reason why you can't do that, guys, is because who you're going to be, the person that achieves that goal, is not the person who you are right now, right? That person in the future has 10 to 20 more skill sets that you currently don't have. That person in the future has resilience, that you probably don't have right now. That person in the future has resources and mentors, okay, and connections and people that they can talk to get immediate answers. Whereas you, right now, swimming in your small little puddle, right? Your only resource is your current knowledge of what you have, what you know you can do, which is already limited, right? So that stops you from shooting for the stars, guys. And I'm asking you guys to open up your goals and begin to think about all of the possibilities that you used to have. Things that you weren't afraid of in the past, right? Things that at an age where you had no limitations, what were you going to choose to do with the rest of your life? I know for me, ever since I was young, and I'm talking ages 7, 8 years old, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to own my own business. And I wasn't sure what type of business I wanted to own, but I did know that I didn't want to work for anybody else. Okay? And most of my life, it did not work out that way. Most of my life, I ended up working for somebody else. I had moments in my life where I ventured off and did a couple of entrepreneur things, but mostly when I got into law enforcement, that was it. I was locked in, and I had that little security blanket, that little teacher's pet type thing of where you locked into something, and that's their system, and the check is your comfort food, right? The check is your security blanket. The check is your pacifier that stops you from reaching out of your comfort zone and trying to achieve more. And so I spent 28 years of my life in that comfort zone. That was one of the major mistakes that I made. I did not reach outside my comfort zone because my circle of influence told me that that was a bad idea, guys. So that's another thing. When you're around a certain group of people, they usually talk you out of the goals that you want to try to achieve. They usually do. And so I ask you guys, when you're trying to achieve results that are significant to more than just yourself, I ask you guys to begin to find other people outside of your current comfort zone, outside of your current circle of influence, and talk to them about your goals. Talk to them about things you're trying to achieve, and begin to spend more time around people who force you to level up, ask you the tough questions, right? When somebody asks me the tough questions, guys, I no longer cower away and try to avoid them. I try to figure out why I don't have an answer to that tough question that they just asked me. And can they personally help me to reach that level so that I can answer those particular questions? Or who can I find that can help me to reach that level so that the next time I'm faced with that same question, okay, I'm ready to give an answer and I'm ready to go into action to create the life that I want. So I went on with this conversation when I was talking to one of my colleagues about having results that were only meaningful to him. And I wanted to tell him, I wanted him to realize that goals should not be based on selfishness, number one. Goals should not be based on fears, that's number two. And goals should not be based on what you know you can do, right? What you know you can do doesn't help you to grow. So I've got used to being uncomfortable and every day waking up with a problem that I need to solve. I've gotten comfortable with it, all right? And I'm okay with it. And once you begin to get comfortable with it, less things shake you, less things bother you, less things get you off of your emotional feeling of being happy. And speaking of emotion, guys, I just want you guys to know that if you base achieving your goals on your emotions and how you feel, you're probably going to not reach those goals. You're probably going to fail several times before you realize that emotions are what get you started, but emotions do not keep you going, right? The human emotion is usually all over the place several times a day, right? I know me personally, I have tons of thoughts that come through my mind during a day. The average person is about 6,200 thoughts, but several emotions that come through my mind every day based on, things that come my way, atmosphere that comes my way. And when I say atmosphere, I mean different people and the energy that they bring toward me. Maybe something my wife said may move my emotions one way. Maybe something my children said may move my emotions another way. Maybe someone at my job may say something that moves me another way. And during all of this time, I am still trying to focus on the goal that I'm trying to achieve, right? So all of this up and down and movements, okay, kind of cause you to get off track when it comes to staying consistent and achieving your goals. So I want you guys to be as consistent as possible when it comes to creating the goals that you want to have for your life. And being consistent and steady in your emotions, okay, which is very, very difficult, by the way, with your emotions can even help you to move even faster to creating the goals that you want, right? Because a lot of times people get depressed, right? Something happens, you get depressed, and so you don't want to be consistent. You don't want to do what you know you need to do for the day, right? You don't want to do your podcast. You don't want to write your book. You don't want to do that sales call. You don't want to work on your marketing or whatever. So you don't want to do none of that because emotionally, something else is on your mind. You're distracted. And I'm telling you guys that when you are having results that are significant than more than just yourself, what you begin to do is say, well, the team is counting on me. My wife is counting on me. My children are counting on me. My business partner is counting on me. And these things